Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Glad you are here. Let me give Patrice just a minute to come back in. She's here. Sorry we're late. We were meeting on something else. And then we're here and we're going to do this like we're two friends just getting together to craft. And here's what that really means. We grabbed some supplies. We don't really have our designs picked out yet, but again, we're going to do this like two friends that are just getting together to craft. So anyway, welcome everyone. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. Let's take a minute to say hi. And hey, Twana, welcome. Hey, Jennifer Ricci. Are you guys all at work? Are you on break? Are you on a holiday? What's going on in your life? Hey, our Lovelanders, welcome. Hey, Martha Jordan. Hey, Lachey. Hey, Keisha, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Latasha. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Stacy. 12 months. It can be 12 months. I don't have it cannot be 12 months. I don't have a 12-month little icon yet. Stacy. I don't believe it, but thank you. Thank you. Hey, Sharon, welcome. Hey, Katrina, welcome. Hey, Merlinda and Mary. Hey, Jackie, welcome. Okay, let's see. HCDDTA, welcome. Welcome. Hey, Michael. Hey, Lakeisha and Donzel. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Bobby. All right. So today we just are getting together. We're going to do some sublimation. I think we're going to start by just talking a little bit about what is sublimation, how does it work, what type of supplies do you need? Let's see. That's what you thought you got on the first day that I started it. I don't think it's been a year either. I just don't. That's crazy. I don't think it's here. Hey, Rosetta. Oh, good. Rosetta, I'm so glad. So now I see you said your first bling shirts, whereas the other night when you said something on a live, was that Patrice's live or Eve's? Hold on, guys, just a minute. Hey, Dims. You did your first shirt. So now I hear plural. That's great. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. I had to grab a Kleenex. So is it as cold in your areas as it is here? Last night we got down to like 14 or 16 degrees. And what's funny is last week I was actually wearing shorts. So I went out shopping in shorts. It was close to 80 degrees. And then last night, so cold. And then next Sunday, it's going to be 90 degrees. So that's kind of Midwest weather for you. Hey, our Lovelanders. She says, it's been a year. Jennifer, she says she's at work, but she wishes she was there. Hey, Jim says 1 year. Already. I'm loving it over here. Thank you, girly. Congratulations. Thank you, Dims. Thank you. All righty. Hey, Carla. 83 degrees there, Evelyn. That sounds great. Let's see. I think I missed baby. Oh, hey, Baby Giant Services. Rosetta says, Patrice, your outfit is so cute.
Thank you. And hey, Paul.
The other night, either you were on or Eve was on, and she said she brushed in her first rhinestone template, and now she says she has shirts, plural, that she wants to post in the group. So
she got it bad.
Patrice, I told him this is like we're just two friends getting together, and we have our supplies, and we're just ready to get started. So this is not a pre-planned video exactly, but we did talk about that we want to bring up sublimation. What is it? What do you need to get started? How does it work? How does it differ from other crafts? printers, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So,
anybody the sublimation? You haven't subbed before, or you do sub, or you subbed in the past and you kind of kicked it to the curb. Let us know. Let us know what part of the journey of sublimation you're on. Let us know.
I love sublimation. Not so much on clothes. I don't love it on clothes other than like with bling, but I love it on hard things, or even like I'm going to do a mouse pad today, which isn't clothes, but it's a softer item. I do love it on things like that. I love tumblers. I don't know how many tumbler videos I did, a ton. Let's see. Rose Orange Lynetta says she is on a cruise. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Okay, so let's see what they say. 26 there, 43. Oh my. Stacy said, I sub, just not a fan of it. That's right. I heard you talking yesterday about you were just doing it. Bobby loves it. Rosetta says, nope, she doesn't do it. Let's see. Merlinda says she loves sublimation. Kristen sublimates. Hey, Kristen, every once in a while, need to probably get some more ink soon. That's one thing about sublimation ink is it lasts forever, at least in my opinion. Thanks, Donzel. Hey, Lakeisha. Stacy says she's not good at it. Evelyn loves sublimation. So Latasha, either polyester only, or it can be blends. But here's the deal. A blend. Let's say you have a 80, well, let's go lower, because some people do 65% poly, 35% cotton. Your sublimation ink is embedded into the polyester. So it's embedded into 65% of the fibers. It is still sitting on the other 35%. So as you sub it, it looks okay. It's not as vibrant as if it were 100% polyester. Over time, as you wash it, it comes out of that 35%. There's my air quotes again, Donzel, sorry. It comes out of that 35% of your shirt, and it gets more faded over time, which can be a great look for certain things if you're going for kind of that retro look or a grungy look or something like that. But if you really want your item to look as it does when it comes off your press, it should be very, very high, if not 100% polyester. Okay. Yep. Hey, Retired Crafter 22. Okay. Hey, Jess, welcome. All right. So let's just kind of start with the basics. What is sublimation? So sublimation, I don't even want to say it's a printer, but it is a technique where you're using either special ink or paper that's been treated with special ink to transfer onto high polyester count items. And so, for example, I started with an Epson EcoTank 2760 that lasted me a long time, and it was a very inexpensive printer. Hey, Spill in the Diversity. And then I've been using my Epson EcoTank 15,000 now for maybe 3 years. I'm not sure, 3 years, 4 years. I know some people say they've had issues with those clogging and everything. My Epson EcoTank, now you better behave today. 15,000, I love. Now, the coloring might not be exactly what you see on the screen unless you go to a printer that was made specifically for sublimation, where it's all calibrated for sublimation and all that. So, for example, Patrice has, they're called converted printers. All that means is you're putting sublimation ink into it, which sublimation ink is not expensive if you're doing generic printers, if you're doing Epson EcoTanks. But Patrice has at least one, if not 5 converted printers. And then she has at least 1, if not 3 or 4 true sublimation printers. And Patrice, what can you tell us is the difference between the converted versus one that was made to be a sublimation printer?
So if you're in the market for sublimation and you want to get into it, I would just say go for a sublimation printer, like an actual sublimation printer, because I don't have to worry about any ink clogging up the print head with the actual sublimation printers. Those are dedicated, they were manufactured for the sublimation process. Now, I don't have to worry about like adjusting colors. I don't have to worry about ICC profiles. I don't even have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about any of those things when printing with my sublimation printer because it's going to come out exactly the way that I want it to come out. So that's the other thing with having a dedicated sublimation printer as opposed to one that you convert into sublimation. Um, and that's the thing. I think less maintenance. Now the other thing is that with true sublimation printers, you do waste more ink when you're not using it. So with my converted Epsons, that ink can stay in there forever until I use it up. But with the sublimation printers, because they have automatic cleaning cycles to make sure that those print heads stay nice and clear, then, you know, that ink, you'll waste more ink that way. And the sublimation ink for those printers are usually a little more expensive unless you get like an off-brand type of sublimation. Like I'm still using my Epson sublimation printer, and this one is one that's actually sublimation printer. Um, I still use the Epson ink cartridge, and the same thing for my Sawgrass. I still use the Sawgrass ink cartridges, and the Sawgrass ink is expensive too. So that's it, Mary Bear.
Alrighty. So, in addition to a printer, you can get what I would consider to be sublimation paper. So, in Cricut world, that would be your infusible. Is it called infusible ink?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Thank
in
you.
Cricut world, it's called infusible ink. But there are other companies that sell sublimation paper, and by that I mean pre-printed. It has some design on it, and you can cut out that design and you can put it on blanks. Now the beauty is you don't have to have a sublimation printer. The downside is I think buying those sheets adds up over time versus just having your sublimation ink and printing it out. The other thing is you are very limited on what you can design with sublimation paper because it has to be something you cut out. So I can't put a picture of my dog on, using sublimation paper because they already have a pattern on them. So
Yeah.
if you have never done sublimation and you're curious how it works, I would maybe buy one set of infusible ink and see how the process is. But I don't really enjoy using things like infusible ink because it really can't get what I want. If it's a leaf background, it's going to be a leaf background. It's not going to be what I want to print out. So, okay, let's see. I do the Epson 15,000 and love that. Yeah, that's the one I have. And I just printed out a nozzle check. It's working perfectly fine. I don't use it all that often anymore. I used to use it all the time. But I do try to come and print out something, even if it's just a nozzle check, once a week. Hey, D. Smith and DB. So let's see. So your limitations on sublimation are your materials. They do need to be polyester or almost all polyester.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty is if you can see it on your computer and you can print it, you can have it on a shirt, on a car coaster, on a bag, on a keychain, on earrings, on a tumbler. And so you just are not limited with what types of things you can print on a sublimation printer, as long as your sublimation printer is large enough where you can piece your pieces together.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? With sublimation, you do need to have fairly high heat. So, when we all started, when the crafters started doing sublimation, it was 400 degrees for 1 minute. And now it's more like I do 385 on certain hard surfaces. I do 356, especially if I'm putting it in an oven for multiple minutes. On my tumblers, I usually do 370, 385, 50 seconds, rotate it 50 seconds. That has changed over the years. Also, there are a ton of different brands of sublimation paper. And I do have my favorites. When I started sublimation, I did a video where I compared about 6 different papers. And of those 6 different papers, there were definitely differences for me. And in fact, on one of those papers, I was actually getting bleeding. So the ink was printing on the paper, and the paper wasn't holding it exactly where it needed to be, and it was seeping out a little bit. But I have Hippo brand. I have HTV Ront brand, which I love. I have PYD Life brand, which I've used a couple times, and I think I loved it too. It's just I'm so used to my HTV Ront that I hardly use anything else, which is why it's about empty. I have A-Sub. Which I like.
I started out with A-Sub.
Yeah, I think I did too, but I found that HTV Ront did as well or better, and it was much less expensive. Let's see, Printer's Jack, that's an old one. Koala. I have different sizes, but I think that's pretty much all the brands that I have. Patrice, what do you like to use as far as sublimation paper goes?
So I started out using A-Sub sublimation paper, and I've used all the brands that Marilyn has said. I even have some brands that people kind of sent to me to try out, because remember when COVID was happening, like a lot of people, they were starting their own businesses, they were selling paper and things like that. So I have like a lot of different papers. But my favorite paper, and I've said this 1,000 times, is Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. And I think she may still be selling some on her website from what I heard, because at one point she wasn't selling it anymore. But that was my all-time favorite paper because it did not bleed, and like all that ink seemed to transfer onto the substrate. So I love that paper. But you can even use plain paper. Like regular copy paper also will transfer onto your substrates too. I've done that before too. So I usually go back and forth. PYD Life. I like PYD Life sublimation paper. No,
I think I'll use it today because I do feel like it didn't bleed through the back. So when Patrice says didn't bleed, sometimes papers that probably the back isn't coated as much, the sublimation ink will migrate up through the back of the paper, and it can get on the top of your heat press platen, or it can get on the top platen, or you put paper over it to protect your platen, which I still do, even though HTV Ront, very seldom have I seen it bleed through the back, but not too long ago I actually did see it bleed through the back once. So I'm just always careful, and I just put a piece of paper in there anyway. If you're using regular paper, like in that video, I used a piece of regular paper, but it was very, very cheap, inexpensive paper. I've also used, what was it called? Was it called a bonded paper that wasn't sublimation paper? And it did hold the ink better than what the regular one did. But honestly, sublimation paper is so inexpensive now that if you see any difference between the two, I would just spend the extra few bucks and get the sublimation paper.
Yeah.
So you need, if you're doing flat items on a heat press, you can use a heat press. It just needs to go up to at least maybe 385. You can use a mini press if you're doing small things. You can use a vacuum press. So the phone case heat presses that Patrice and I have both done and have videos on, that is a heat press, but it's a vacuum heat press where in that one we were using film, and it sucks down the film very tightly onto the backs of those coasters, phone cases, whatever you're putting in there. Vacuum heat presses are really good for textured items that are taller and that you can that you can sublimate on the sides of, like those Michaels coasters or the phone cases. I didn't have a vacuum heat press until within the last year, and I survived without it. You can also use a sublimation oven or just a store oven. What was that one that you used to use all the time? It did such a great job with the double doors.
Oh, not the Oster.
Was it Hamilton Beach or
Hamilton Beach?
oh, Oster?
Oster has the double doors. Hamilton Beach had the pull down door. I love that one. You just need to have, like, with sublimation thermometers, you need thermometers just to make sure that the temperature is what it needs to be, because the temperature could be uneven, and that could also cause problems when you're pressing or subbing onto like mugs and things like that. So
yeah, I've used 3 different ovens for sublimation. The first one was a $38 little oven I got at Walmart. I couldn't get the heat up high enough and keep it high enough. So it didn't work well. But here's the thermometer, like what she's talking about. My second one was it was still just a toaster oven. It also did air. It's one that my friend gave me that she got at an auction for very, very inexpensive. And it did get high enough, and it stayed high enough. But what I set the temperature to is not what the temperature was. And even with my large PYD Life sublimation oven, what I set the temperature to is not the real temperature. And so I go by this, and I have to set the oven higher than I want the temperature to actually be. And then I just watch on this. Let's see. Brandy says I use an air fryer oven with double doors that I got from Best Buy. Awesome. Yeah, let's see. Latasha said I did an air fryer oven and it caught on fire. Oh my goodness. Hey, Crystal. Welcome from the bushes at work. So, okay, yeah, so she's talking about one of these. What other? There's tumbler presses, so you can do tumblers in an oven, or you can use a dedicated press. But you don't need to buy all the things.
I'm gonna get my Cricut mug press. Maybe I'll do a mug today too.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's Cricut like coffee mug presses, which I don't have the Cricut one. I had a knockoff one and I loved it. I have a PYD Life one over there. So there's a lot of different options. When it comes to tumbler presses, there's the manual ones, which I probably still prefer over the auto ones, just because I'm a little bit of a control freak. But you have the manual ones that you close, and then there's the auto ones. There's auto close, like I had was that a HTV run? I can't remember what brand, but it auto closed, but it didn't rotate. So it auto closed, it auto opened, you had to rotate it, you closed it, open it. Then there's ones that are fully automated. You put it in, you push the button, it closes, it heats. After so long, it rotates. It opens, it rotates, it heats longer, and then it opens again, and you're done. But I honestly prefer the manual ones.
You prefer the manual ones? I think, yeah, me too. I think so. I do like the ovens, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the manual ones, it's mechanical. You know where it's going. As far as the closing of it. It's not an electronic close. And when you're using the auto ones, you're relying on that electronic close. And in my opinion, they can break. The electronics can go out. And so if I were suggesting one, honestly, I would probably, at least to start, suggest a manual one. And they're really not very expensive anymore. Hey, Winnie Lane. And Winnie, I think you said last night, or whenever it was, that your name's Cindy. Is that right? You like your craft one? I have a Craft Express one that I love. Love. Okay, so tons and tons of sublimation blanks out there. There's chopping boards, there's tumblers, there's cups, there are tools that you can buy that are sublimation blanks. This is a card coaster, but it's a foamy one, so it bends. I also have card coasters that are that hardboard, but I prefer these because if your cup is going to have some leakage come off of it, what's that called? Osmosis? I don't know, whatever. When the liquid comes through the cup and drips down, this foamy, I think, is going to withstand that better than a sublimation card goes through that has a wood backing or a pressed backing. So I like these. And then I'm going to do a keychain, and then I might do a cozy. And these can be good for things like weddings, parties. You know, you can really do these up and customize them for those types of events. And then my mouse pad. I don't know that I'll do this. I don't know that I'll do this tote. This is one of those type totes from Michael. And I don't know. I think they're pretty cheap and cheesy.
They are. I was gonna pull one out though too. They are cheap.
I like that tote that you did. It was black, I think, toward the bottom, and then it was white at the top or very light colored. But of course, you know, they're more expensive.
Yeah.
Stephanie. Hey, Zelda. Go to Craft. Okay, yes, I have a Go to Craft also.
Natasha says forgiven. Forgiven. And my pants. I made an outfit. Reel is coming out today when I edit it.
Awesome. And the Forgiven, the Redeemed, that kind of Easter line, but it's not just for Easter. Yes. That is embroidery and bling, correct?
Yep. Just the, not the pants, just the top is embroidery and bling. The pants just a little bit, you know. So I'm not going to do this, but I did, these are some ties, like some min ties for sublimation. I got some headbands, like the head wraps for sublimation. I might do this because I think I'm just going to use the same image for almost everything. So I have these notebooks that I have for sublimation where you can sub the front cover and the back cover. I have, so this is almost like a huge mouse pad type of thing, but it's going to go on my desk. So I'm moving into my new office at work when I get back. And so I need to set it up accordingly. And so I'm gonna, okay, it's printing now. So you guys will see what this looks like. I'm printing out, did I make it too big? I'm printing out an image for this so that I can press it.
Are you printing that on roller paper?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I also have these sublimation boards. And then I have these clipboards too that I'm probably gonna maybe make something to match all this. So it shouldn't take long. We only got like 30 more minutes, Mare Bear.
Okay, well, I think I'll go into Creative Fabric and find something then.
We got an hour. You want to show them like Creative Fabric and like how to find the files? And then
yeah, you bet.
Wait, let me show you guys. Oh, my black. It looks like I need to do a print head cleaning maybe, but I think I need to do a print head cleaning, but I'm going to keep it just like this. I'm pressing this because this is going on my desk. Y'all see how my black looks? It's going to be fine. So this is what my image, I printed my image out like this. And I'm just going to put it right on top of that mat.
You sure you don't want to reprint that?
Nah, it's going to press fine.
Okay.
What you'll see, Marilyn, it's going to press fine. Now, I do need to do a print head cleaning. And of course, I didn't do a print head cleaning prior, but it's like I have some lines in my black. And this printed out with the Epson Eco Tank 15,000.
So it's ombre then, or it goes from black to blue. Oh, okay. I thought the blue was supposed to be black, and that was the issue.
Oh no, it's ombre. It's ombre. So,
have either of you done the cutting board, Crystal?
Yeah, I've done.
I have done a cutting board, but it was using the hack of the vinyl on the bottom of it and doing that. I have a couple videos on that. Over time, they're going to fade. I feel like sublimation migrates in vinyl. So when you're doing, I sent a picture to Patrice recently. I did a little shirt for my great niece, and it was using one of the products that you print on, and I can't remember which one, so I don't want to say it, but there are vinyl products, printable vinyl products that are meant for regular ink. There's printable vinyl products that are meant for sublimation ink. And this was a sublimation printable vinyl. I printed the design on it, and you know, the next year or whatever, it was very, very, very fuzzy. So I don't know that I would anymore recommend those types of hacks. Yeah.
I don't recommend the hacks either. Like this was one I did like a few years ago. This lasted pretty long. Like this looks good. The color looks good. This was like a clear vinyl, something that I got from Heat Transfer Warehouse. This was before. This is not Easy Subly. It's not the HTV Runt. But I want to show y'all this. So this is one that I did too, but I don't know if you guys can even tell. Like, you see how the color is coming through there? Like, it's just not, it didn't last long at all. Like, it's very blurry. It doesn't look blurry from here, but like in person, it's super duper 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 blurry. And then this one too, like this one started to, you can't really even tell what it says anymore. I don't know. Makes it look better, but it looks horrible in person. Like that color blends in, and I think this might be the HTV Runt one. This one of them, my Easy Subly did the same thing. So those materials are very expensive when you're trying to do the hacks. It's not even, it's not even worth it anymore to do those hacks. Like, you might as well just go get DTF transfers if you really want to print on cotton.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Connie and Angel B. Let's see. I saw some more people come in up there. Let's see. And Fern, good luck to you and your daughter with her stamp being put in. Hey, Tanya. Kristen did a cutting board. I think she said she did a cutting board. Stacy said she does them for craft shows or for sales. But I think they probably work really nicely. Let's see. Kristen says my HTV Runt hack one is blurry and I got the blue fibers. Okay. Yeah. I think that was the brand of mine too. I'm just not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I threw it away. Okay. So now let me say, if you're going to a concert and you don't have time to order a DTF print, or you only want one thing, so you're not going to order a DTF print for one thing because, it wouldn't be cost efficient. And if you have the products and you have a sublimation printer, then if you're wearing it to a concert or a party, something where you're not concerned about the longevity of the design, then it's fine. But I don't think I would sell anything with it on it.
No, at all.
Okay, let's see. Hey, Boyd Apparel. Let's see. I sublimate a license plate and coasters and baby card tag and gift tag, I think is what that is. Oh, I even sublimated. I had some PYD Life gift boxes. No, they were cupcake boxes, and sublimated those. Those turned out nice, but it was a little tricky because I needed to have a larger printer at the time. With the tempered glass. Yes. Yeah, the cutting boards with the tempered glass. I think that's what people are talking about. One product that I love is PYD Life's sublimatable acrylic boards, but you have to cut them with a laser, and you have to cut them with a CO2 laser. But there's also acrylic that you can cut where you sublimate on top. You can cut that with a diode laser, I believe. But I love the PYD Life clear acrylic that you sublimate on the bottom. It has a white coating on the bottom, and it comes up through the acrylic. It's just beautiful. It's so much more beautiful than just on a flat white surface on top. And I think those cutting boards are the same way. You sublimate from the bottom and you see it through the top. If I want to make a tumbler just for myself or maybe family, what type of device do I need? Might venture into more than just a shirt. So you need either a sublimation oven where you shrink wrap it, or you tape the heck out of it, with just tape, but I would shrink wrap it, or a tumbler press. And let me grab one of my tumbler presses.
I'm still large.
No, you're not.
Oh, hey guys.
Love the glass cutting board. One of my favorite sublimation projects. Okay. Also, for a lot of projects, heat resistant gloves are good, but they are just resistant. They are not heat proof.
No.
So Winnie Lane, I have multiples of these. Some are auto, some are manual like this one. But this is a tumbler press, and they work nicely, but a lot of people prefer an oven. Maybe I'll make a tumbler. I don't know. Let's go into Creative Fabrica. And hopefully, did you guys just see my backside? No, I don't think so. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I saw a video where you did. I was like, oh my gosh. Hey, Bondi Creations. Let's see. Kristen says, I've liked the results I've gotten from sublimating on C's or PSB glitter and adding to acrylic blanks as well. Yeah, I think that would be pretty. I'm not a fan of sublimating onto glitter HTV and putting it on a shirt unless it's thin, because I don't like thick. Like if you do a rectangle of glitter and put a picture on it, I don't like that. If you cut out the glitter and put words, that's good because it's a softer feel. Let's see. Had 2 sublimation printers. This is Boyd Apparel, and was sick in the hospital. When I got out and able to get in my lab, they were dried up. My husband tried to get them to work. No go. I will order DTF prints from now on. Yeah.
Oh. Maybe a temperature type of thing, because I've gone months without using my printer in my sublimation printers, and I have, but it could be like a weather, so that does play a part in like just the uptake.
Yeah. But your true sublimation printers are kind of like DTF printers. They do auto cleanings, and so that's what she was talking about earlier. She loves them. The maintenance is low, but you're going to use more ink, and the ink is, I guess, unless you buy an off-brand, the ink for those, I think she said, is, more expensive.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's go into Creative Fabrica. Let me figure out where I have it. There it is. I'm going to do a stitch out today of my block for the block party, just to make sure it looks good. Stacy said, I've gone a long time without printing on the 15,000, never had an issue. I've gone way too long too, and I didn't have an issue either on that. But I know some people have, but I haven't. But I do try. I don't always succeed. I try to come in and do at least a nozzle check once a week. But I've probably gone 3 weeks before and didn't have a problem. I did have to change out my waste tank once, which was super easy. And they're not expensive. Yeah, I don't turn any of my printers off. Let's see. Hi, RD Styles. She has the Epson EcoTank 8550 that Patrice has, and thinking of going DTF with it. Still recommend it. I don't think she'll recommend that.
I literally have a video coming out today saying I don't recommend it.
Oh, wow. Cool. Great timing.
Here's why I don't recommend it, because I didn't go in detail because it really wasn't about that printer, but I was just talking about like converted DTF printers. So by the time you end up buying everything you need for that, and you get the assist system, you get the circulate, you get all that stuff, and just all the extra maintenance stuff that you're going to need for it, you might as well get you a dedicated DTF printer, one that's truly. Most of the printers, they're not all true DTF printers. Remember, a lot of the things that they're using Epson parts for some of these printers that they're putting together already. But the 8550 is going to print beautiful for you at first, but that ink is just too harsh for that specific print head. Okay, so that's why like a lot of people end up having to replace the print heads and do different things like that. So you might as well, that printer already I think is maybe like $800, $800, $850, around that range. You might as well just look into a DTF printer. They're on sale now too, a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the K13 Lite, which is by itself $19.99. When we were doing when it was the pre-launch time, we were doing videos. It was what, $1,200? Yeah, it was a good buy. I mean, you can make back your $1,200 really quickly. It is a beginner, a beginner DTF printer. Oh, so yeah, if you are looking at like an all-in-one where it does the shaking and the heating and all that, of course they're much more expensive. But I think Patrice would definitely, would you recommend the X tool one, Patrice?
Listen, I hate the cost of the X tool, and I think it's on sale. Like they've gone down in the pricing too. But absolutely recommend the X tool. By far, my most drama-free printer. Of course, you have to take out the time and be patient with learning the machine and just everything. But by far, my video today is 5 reasons why the X2 apparel printer is a must. And y'all know that I was a little bit over that price at first of how much it costs, but it's worth it. The OnTech really is a good printer too. The difference for me with those two, one, the X2 is just super beautiful. Like the not just like the structure of it is superb. The structure, how they built it, everything. It is a lot different than some of the other printers. But this one isn't a bad one, but it's not on the market yet. But this one is pretty good. The only thing I don't like is the roll feeder at the bottom. I've grown to love the X tool and how it cuts the images off for me as I go, and it just shoots it out at the bottom when it's done curing, and you don't waste the film. So
That's nice to have all that where it just does it all for you. That is
like
nice.
a princess. I feel like a princess when I'm printing with that printer because I don't even have to, just sit back, let my nails dry.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, let's go ahead and, oh, you're getting ready to press that. So I'm going to go into Creative Fabrica real quick before you get too far on that.
no, I'm not gonna press this one. I made it too short. And I think I just did the same thing again. I think I just did the same thing again and made it too short again.
Uh-oh. Okay, so here is Creative Fabrica. This is, I'm trying to think of any other subscription-based software that I haven't. I cannot think of any. I don't have Cricut. I don't have Romeo's. I don't have Xtool, the paid versions. I've never had Cricut, Romeo, or Xtool paid versions. Glowforge, I didn't have it, but I won't live without Creative Fabrica because you can find so many things on it. And when I started using it, it literally took the stress out of designing. You can find things and you can customize them. So let's just look for a sublimation tumbler design. Let's see what we find. We might be doing a sublimation tumbler. That's cute, mama. And the other thing is, like, I love to do all over designs. I don't necessarily like this one, but I love to do all over designs. Like, these are all over designs. They are much more challenging than, say, something that has a lot of white at the top or the bottom. If you are new to sublimating tumblers, start with something that has a lot of white at the top and the bottom, and you're going to have less drama. But, oh, that one's cute. I like this one. And Tim's mother, who just turned 85, loves yellow. We're going to do this one. So I'm going to click on download. And then I'm going to go to my recent downloads. This probably has a tapered one and a straight one. I can see that this one's tapered, so this is the one that I want. So I'm going to click on it, and let's see if I can do it this way. Open with, let's open it with Silhouette Studio. Okay, so we're going to open that up. And then I need to get a tumbler and measure it because not all tumblers are the same exact measurements. People will often ask, what do you cut your, or what do you print your tumblers at? Well, it depends.
Depends on the tumbler. That's true.
Yeah.
Definitely depends on the tumbler.
Okay. So I don't even know what brand this one is. I'm gonna guess it's a Go to Craft. It has a nice little window in the front, like if it's a gift. But inside, I know you guys can't see this, it has the little rubber thing that's gonna go on the back, or I'm sorry, the bottom after we sublimate it, because you don't want that in there with the high heat. So I have my tumbler. Let me go ahead and measure it real quick. And I usually put a slight overlap. Okay. This looks to be about 9 1/4 around. I'm going to go 9.4 just to have a little extra, because it's okay if I have to cut some off. And then the height for this one is just over 8. I'm going to go, let's go 8.15. So 9.4 by 8.15. Let's see what that'll look like. So if I change the width to 9.4, the height is just a little bit taller. I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. Oop, it went back to what it was. That was weird. So 9.4 by 8.15. And that's what we have. So now let's go ahead and put the name Judy on this. So I'm going to go here, click on the text tool. I think I'll just do all caps. It's not going to be a fancy. For now, I'm going to have black. Oops. Click off of it, click back on it. For now, it's going to be black. Make it larger, and then we'll find a little bit better font. That one's pretty plain, and I'm not going to keep it black. I'm thinking about, it looks like the insides of these flowers, it's kind of brownish, so maybe I'll go with a brown, or I could do some totally different color. Patrice, what color goes well with yellow and brown?
Teal.
Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. So we're doing all caps, so we want to keep something that looks good in all caps. I actually like that one. I know it's a little juvenile, but I like it. All right, so let's go ahead, and that's not really teal. I'm going to drag this little guy over toward the green. Okay, I like that. Should I go a little darker? That's not bad.
Looks good.
You like that? Okay, so now I am going to do an offset to have a little white space outside of it. So not that big. Let's just go 0.05 and see what that looks like. And then before I commit to it, I can turn it white to see if I think it looks good. I think that looks fine. So I'm not even going to worry about anything else. Let's go ahead and select everything, hold the shift down and get rid of the background. And then I'm just going to group all this together. And now I want to get rid of that red thing around it because I just hate that. So you go to line style, go to this second area over here and turn it to transparent. Okay, now I want my word to go up and down. So let's rotate it, go up to object, rotate. Now, do I want it? Do you like your words to read down or up?
From up to down.
You do up to down? I don't.
I start the first letter at the top.
You do. See, I do down to up because I think if I cock my head left, then I can read it. But I think most people probably do it the way you're talking about.
I do,
okay,
because when you bring the cup up, like let's say if you're drinking the cup, your name can be read that way. So if your name is at the top and you like go to drink it, like you can see your name that way.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's no wrong or right way.
Let's try it. What the heck? So let's rotate it by 180 degrees. And now I can just select everything. I think the name is large enough. It's going to leave an inch or two at the bottom of the top. And I'm just going to group all that together. And then what paper do I have in there? Let's go ahead and put some PYB Life paper in and print that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so we can see what Patrice is doing over there.
I'm not doing anything but pressing this. Okay.
We want to see it. We want to see it hot off the press when it comes out.
I have my heat gloves on. You know this neoprene gets super duper hot. And I need to turn it.
Evelyn likes it better the way you do it.
Where?
And Shamika too. Okay. Stacy, there's not a right or a wrong. There really isn't.
Yeah. But if you're left-handed, then because I'm
no, don't go there. She's not left-handed.
All right. So this is where this is tricky for me because I should have had something to provide a little more support for it, except just the tape. But it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna hope and pray that I can get a good press down at center. And I didn't shift it. I didn't shift it.
That is so funny, Angel B. She turns her head to the left too to make sure she can read it. That's funny. Stacy does it the way you do it. Kristen.
What's up, y'all? A little bit better for this.
Brandy is asking, Patrice, did you hear back from OnTech if they had more printers during the buy-in? Thank you, Retired Crafter 22. She said, I'm the tumbler queen in her book.
Yes.
Follows my rules for sublimation. Her projects are perfect every time. Thank you. All right, so.
When I did this, I should have had something firm to kind of like stabilize the mat and the paper, and I didn't. So I might have a little bit of ghosting. I usually press when I have long things like this. I usually press it on my other heat press, the one that's 19 by 24, 16 by 24. That's horizontal. But this, yeah, and I usually, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how this ends up looking. I'm a little bit worried about this one. And this film doesn't bleed either. So I love it. Like it doesn't.
And what kind is that?
That's the roll film from the sublimation paper from Amazon that I get.
Okay. The last thing that I'm doing before I print it is I'm making sure that my page setup is set for 8.5 by 11. Oh, and then Brandy had that question. And then I flip my design horizontally because on 99% of sublimation things, or a very high percentage, you do have to flip your design. Not 100%, not 100% of the time. If you're doing like those tempered glass cutting boards where you're sublimating from the bottom, you're not going to mirror your design. So you have to think about, am I seeing it from the top of something, or do I need to flip it because it's going on a surface I can't see through? And then I have to make sure that my design all fits on the paper in my software before I print it. So now I'm going to go ahead and print it. And
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. So I have my little line. Brandy, I have not heard back from them. Well, I have heard from them, but not in regards to like when they're actually going to put them out for, like when they're actually going to put it out for sale. So no, I don't know. Sorry, girl. I have no idea. I will ask them though to see. So let me show y'all how I messed up. So remember how I told you guys I shifted it? So I have this line. There shouldn't be a line in the middle of this. Neoprene actually does stink though, but there shouldn't be a line in the middle of it. But what happened is that when I pressed it and then it hit this edge, it caused like a little hump in between, like it was kind of lifted. So that just caused me drama. But guess what? Guess who's still gonna put this on her desk at work? Me.
you are.
Yep. I'm still gonna put it. I could maybe put like some vinyl down here or something, just to kind of do something different, and maybe put something else over here on the side.
Or print out something DTF that looks like it was meant to go where that white thing is.
Like some little flowers or so.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Because what you don't want to do is like, I don't want to print out another piece like this color, because it's not ever going to, that color is never going to blend in again with it. So
Right. Marilyn says maybe color with an infusible ink marker. Sunflower stalk. Oh, that's cute, Kristen. Yeah, she said add a sunflower stalk. That's cute. Maybe have part of the sunflower showing at the very top, but mainly it's stalk. So it's straight. Hey, Miller.
Like a
fabric marker. Get a marker. A lot of people say get a marker. Fern says it's fine. Put the flower that you have on the side there. Yeah.
Put those flowers up. Yeah. The marker. So the reason why the marker isn't going to work is because one, this gradient, but that blue is different from the blue here. So when I press it, it'll look, but it's not necessarily going to blend in good with it. I only know this because I've tried to do that before when something like that happened. So, but it's all good. Let me go grab my other laptop. I'm about to print something out right now.
Okay. And so, Connie, was that you saying you're adding a sewing machine to a list of what you want? Let's see. With flowers. If they are too close, tell them back off. Exactly. All right. So my print is printing. I did print it on best quality. That's just what I do, but not everybody does. I use a board to press something big like that. Yeah. Okay, so, a lot of people don't clean their tumblers because it's going to be fine. It probably doesn't have any grease on it, but I'm a little bit different about that. So I spray some 90% rubbing alcohol on it, and then I dry it. I've even seen people use lint rollers on them, which I don't do, but I've seen people do it. They have beautiful tumblers. Yeah, you also, you don't want your hands to be oily. Have a lot of hand lotion on them and handle it, because then that's going to be between the sublimation paper and the tumbler. And for your best quality transfer, you just don't want to do that. Okay, so my print printed out. And I usually like to let my print dry for a few minutes, or I'll put it under a heat press and just let it sit there. So I should have had my heat press on, but it's on now. You usually wipe it with, yes, a coffee filter. Yes. That's probably the best thing. Snow blizzard here in Wisconsin, Debbie. Whew. Now here's another thing. The first time I did something that was kind of a teal color, I was doing a little washcloth for a baby. And it was, I think it was an elephant, and it had some teal in it. And when it printed out, it kind of looked purpley. Now remember, I'm using teal, and that looks pretty much just like blue. But that's going to change when we put it under the high heat for that extended amount of time. So the other thing is you have to be careful. If you have an auto press and you have it set for automatic, that platen goes down, and you don't want that. So we're going to lift the platen. I'm not going to roll the thing out, because if I push it in and it's still on automatic, it'll go down again. So let's just set that there for a minute. It doesn't take very long. And then we're going to tape it up. Tape it up. Latasha, I have an Etsy shop, but it really is digital things. So it's rhinestone templates. I might have one or two. Well, I have a few HTV things in there, or SVG files that you could do HTV with. And I might have an embroidery thing on there, but I'm going to add embroidery things.
ordering.
Okay. So you can cut it however you want to cut it, but my favorite way of cutting down the paper is with a rotary tool, a ruler that has cork and flock ducts on the back, and then a little cutting mat. Let me find my cutting mats. I moved them recently.
That's nice. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Bobby. Were you sneezing?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Bless you. Bless you.
Come here, here. I don't know why. So crazy.
Okay, so it's going to wrap around this way. And so I have to cut all the white off, at least the side that's against the tumbler. Because if I leave any white on that end, that white is going to show up on my tumbler. And I don't want a white streak down the back. So I'm just barely going to cut off a tiny bit of the design. Now, as long as I have this side against my tumbler, if there's no white over here, that's not a big deal. But I usually cut a tiny bit off it too. So hopefully I made it large enough around. I think I did add, let's see, it was 9 1/4 and I printed at 9.4. So before I take the time to cut off the top and the bottom, let me just make sure that it goes all the way around. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to reprint. But it does. It does. It goes all the way around in a teeny tiny little overlap. What are you going to sublimate now, Patrice?
I'm going to do this this clipboard.
Oh, I love when you do those clipboards.
Same. And then I just gotta, I can't ever remember if this has like that protective film on top. You know how some of the images, oh yeah, it does.
Yes, yes. I've accidentally left film on before. Doesn't work so well.
So always kind of have to check it.
Okay, so we're doing Judy from top to bottom. So this is my top. Now, I think I left a little bit of white right over here. So let me redo that. Just at this end down here. So I didn't cut it very square.
Hey, Naomi.
Hey, Nicole. Hey, Jessie.
Naomi, is Josie off? Josie was on early.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was designing.
In 3D stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good at that.
I meant to tell you when we were in our meeting. I forgot.
Okay, so what I like to do, first of all, this is my top. Flip my tumbler over, which means I also need to flip this over. And then I just put it flat on my table to start with. Now, mine's a little too long. See how long it is there? And I don't love to wrap it around the bottom. I don't love that at all because it can cause the puckers. So we're going to cut a little bit more off. And I would rather the name be slightly closer to the top than the bottom. So we're going to cut a little bit more off this top piece. Haven't done a tumbler in so long.
either. Maybe we need to do a tumbler live. I haven't done a tumbler in a long time either.
Yeah, I used to do videos on tumblers all the time. Then it's like, Marilyn, move on. Move on to something else. We're sick of tumblers.
I think I did more than tumblers and strips. Ooh. That's like it.
I can't tell which side I cut closer on. Let's see, how much room do I have? I don't have much room. We're just going for it. Just going for it. Hopefully I don't have a little white streak. But because this is a very light colored tumbler and there's a lot of white in the flowers, if I do, it's not the end of the world. But I hate it. Hate it when I get those white streaks. Okay, let me get my little tumbler holder that I made out of pool noodles and PVC.
Okay. Gotta print this out. Okay. I do want to show y'all. So you know how I did not do my print head cleaning, and I still didn't do the print head cleaning either. But I'm gonna show y'all that mat up close. I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna put on it. I want to do that before we get off of here. Hold on. All right. So you'll know how like it had all those lines in it at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's no lines in it now. Up here. So you can't really tell. So it just depends. Like sometimes the lines are super thin, but I do need to do to clean it out. Is that from tape? Might be from the tape, but look at that little line in there. This is so disrespectful.
I know you're going to camouflage it with something.
I knew it was going to happen when I did it. That's why I'm like, oh my goodness. But so on my other heat presses, it's a lot easier to do like the longer things, but I didn't have anything to support it to keep it stable. That's what happens when you don't.
Okay, Debbie said I should just down to sewing the 24 bowl cozies I need to finish. They've been sitting since right before Christmas. That's a lot of bowl cozies.
24?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So when I wrapped this, remember I had it flat on the table, and I can see the paper is all the way to the top and just I don't even know if it's a tiny bit above it. I think it's a tiny bit above it. I hope, because I don't want that ring around the top. So let's tap on our paper. Okay. So now I can see there is a teeny tiny bit of paper above it. And then I'm very wasteful with my tape. I use a lot of tape. And the first row, and you know, if you get great tumblers without this, don't change your method. Do what you do. If whatever works for you, this is what works for me. Uh-oh, it went around on its own. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this piece just even with the top and pulling it somewhat tight, but not overly tight. And this, you remember, is it Roy from?
Yeah. Industrial.
What's his channel?
Industrial French.
Yes, yes, yes. He's where I got this method, and I love it. So the next piece is about half on, half off. And I'm really, 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 really stretching because I want my tape to kind of rebound and pull that paper in. And then I'm just going to go around and push straight over. I'm not going to twist, just pushing straight over. And then tape and the tape to the inside. Hey, Marlene. Cheers to the yellow tape. Yes, I don't recommend many yellow tapes, but this one I do. I've never had this one leave a mark. I have a pillow where I used some cheap sublimation tape that a friend gave me, and the pillow was white, and the tape was touching the pillow, and it left a yellow stain. This tape, I've never had any staining from it. But if you're worried about it, use like a Cricut tape. I love this tape because it's super thin. So from top of the tape to the bottom of the tape is super thin. And I just prefer for tumblers a really thin tape because you can get tape marks. If you tape and then you use too much pressure, you can actually have little indentions where your tape was. So I'm going to tape the same way down here. My first piece is just going around, keeping that paper where it's stable, where it's not crinkling, along the base of my tumbler. And then the next piece, I'll have it half on, half off. Or something about half on, half off. Again, stretching it and then pushing straight over. And this does take more time than just, you know, not putting all this tape on. Where's my phone? I hear somebody trying to call me. I don't even know where my phone is. Don't know.
Okay.
Where's my phone?
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't one of my kids. Because adult kids don't call unless they need something.
Mm-hmm. I learned.
Even just to bounce things off of you because, you know, you've had more life experiences.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be something terrible. Okay, now let's rub this and get that paper really flat. Okay, so by now, most people would have 3 tumblers done, and I'm just on my first. But what is good shirt to go with that is a little heavier to sublimate on? I want to find one closer to 100% that is closer to 100% polyester. So I just picked up a couple shirts at Michael's. They were Make Market. I haven't used them yet. I don't want to wear like those performance fabrics that are real thin. So once I use it, I can let you know. Yes, RD Styles. I do want to do a room tour. I do. It's not the prettiest of rooms. It's not a bunch of purchased cabinets and all that, like the fancy rooms that you see, but it works. Right, Fern. Hey, Jane. Okay, so let me get my press plugged in. And then let's go ahead and get us all the same size. Long time ago, I went on live with the Best Uni doing sublimation stuff. I think we were doing frosted glass tumblers, and she was done with 5, and I was done with like 2. So my method is slow. I'm very slow.
Good. It still gets done.
It gets done.
All that matters.
Okay, I haven't used this one for a long time. Let's see what it is set at. 385 for 50 seconds. Yep, 385 for 50 seconds. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on that, let it heat up. It heats up fast. And then most of your instructions say, actually, let me turn it off. Let me turn it off. Most of the instructions for these say they have a tumbler in it while it's heating up. So let me do the right thing. I have my burner tumbler, that's what I use it for. And I also want to check and make sure that it is adjusted to where it needs to be. It should be, because tumblers is usually what I do. And even though you can have slight differences, it should be about correct. But I want to see, is the gap here the same as the gap here? So let me turn it sideways so I can see that. And no, the gap down here is tighter than this gap. So let's tighten up this end a little bit. And this is very, very, very tight. Let me loosen this end a little bit. Your tumblers do not have to be that tight. As your tumbler heats up and your press heats up, it's going to be harder to close this. Okay, let me make sure that's a good. I think that's fine. All right, turn it back on.
I'm going.
Hey, Rosalind.
I have roller marks. I'm going with it.
Jane says, make market shirts are 100% polyester. They have a slight pinkish tone. I will say the polyesters tend to be pretty sheer, somewhat see-through. Yes. Now, I know Patrice showed some a long time ago that she liked. I can't remember where you got them from, though, Patrice. Do you remember?
I'm probably from Jiffy. WV from Jiffy.
WV?
Yeah. They're not a thick shirt. It's not thick.
Okay.
It's still my
Is it the performance type fabric, though?
Mm-mm. It feels kind of cotton.
Oh, it feels like cotton. Good. I wonder
Yeah.
what I did with mine. Did I bring them upstairs? Oh, sorry. That's me. My timer went off even though it's not up to temperature yet. Okay, so here's the ones I got from Michael's. Let me feel them. I just ordered them online and I went in the store and picked them up. Okay, so here's a Make Market t-shirt. Okay, I do see a slight, very, very slight pinkish tone on that. But I mean, it's very slight. And I would say it's a little see-through.
Some ghosty.
So that's my shirt, my t-shirt. And then I also got a Make Market sweatshirt that is made for Sublimation.
I have those. I kind of like their Make Market sweatshirts.
Yeah, that feels. Hush, hush, hush. That feels pretty good. That feels good.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, it doesn't quite feel like cotton, but it feels pretty good. And I can't see through it. It's not super thick, but I don't like super thick sweatshirts. I like it.
No ghosting.
But I would say the white one does have kind of a slight off tone and is thinner than what I would prefer, or more see-through than what I would prefer. I wouldn't wear a black bra on her. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me turn this.
Hey, Robin. Okay. Oh, am I up to temperature? Almost. Okay, so I went and I got some butcher paper. I just buy this by the roll. It's just some thin butcher paper. It's not coated or anything like that. Like some butcher paper, you know, true butcher paper is probably coated. And you can just use a piece of paper, you know, a piece of copy paper, printer paper. I like this because I like to hold it up here kind of as a cradle as I'm putting my tumbler in and taking my tumbler out. Jane says, I don't know why I'm not able to hit reply, only block or report. So did somebody ask you a question? What you can do is you can type their name, put an @ sign before it, start typing their name. If you're on a computer, you're going to see them pop up. Then I click on what pops up so that I know it's going to turn it orange. And then that way you can reply to someone, Jane.
Yeah, but I'll be back. I gotta open my, and then I'll wait. Hold on, and then I'll go get this DTF print. Hopefully, it printed out.
Okay. So my press is up to temp. I'm going to do 385 for 50 seconds. Then I'm going to rotate it and do 50 more seconds. Here's the seam. I prefer to have the seam either at the front or the back. I don't start with it up. Some people do. I feel you get the better pressure at the back and the front. Also, I always worried about if I press it from the sides, is that going to raise? Is that going to lift? Is my seam going to lift? But there's a lot of people that press them with the seam at the top, and they have beautiful tumblers too. So again, it's just kind of what works for you. So let's take out the burner tumbler. That is going to be super duper hot. And I didn't bring anything over here to put it on. Let's see. Do I have anything down there? Okay, well I can just set it right here. Back on my heat press. Okay, so I have my tape toward me. I'm just going to slide this in using my little paper cradle. I want to make sure it's kind of toward the center for the best even pressure. I can't really see up there. Okay, about 1 inch from this end, a little more from this end, so I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And then let's close this up. And that is very tight. On this press, the timer starts down automatically. Hey, Regina. We're just doing little sublimation things. Like I'm doing a tumbler. Patrice did this mat for her desk at work, and now she's working on something else. But I don't remember what it was. I don't know what her new thing is. Hey, Danny, welcome. Yeah, we appreciate that. Patrice is on spring break, and so when she's on spring break, and usually during Thanksgiving, we like to do a little Crafternoon live. Okay, we're down to 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I'm just gonna shut it off so it doesn't keep beeping. Actually, I think when I open it, it stops beeping too. And I turned it right back on. So now there's my seam. I'm gonna put my seam at the back and hold my paper cradle up. And press one more time. Now let me find something to set this on when it comes out. I have a tile, a couple tiles around here somewhere. I think I might know where they are.
Oh, I forgot my.
Let's see if the timer or the beeping goes off when I open it. Yeah. Okay. So let's take it out. And depending upon your paper, you might be able to see the design through it. Some papers are more coated, they're thicker. You might not see your design come through it. If that's the type of paper you're using, don't worry. But most papers, then you can see your design a little bit better than when you put it in. Now, when I first started doing tumblers, I wanted to take this paper off as soon as I could because I just wanted to see what the tumbler looked like. Also, we're going to check the paper. I don't see any of the ink. I don't see that any of the ink came through here, so I can reuse this. If you see any ink come through, you could still reuse it because you're separated by paper, but I wouldn't. If I see any ink on my paper, I throw it away. Okay, unplug this and get it out of the way. So anyway, I used to like to take my paper off really quickly because I was just impatient. But now I let the tumbler cool a little bit. Not just because it's easier to handle, but as long as this tumbler is hot enough to sublimate and you take your paper off, if you slide that paper over it, you could cause a little bit of blurring. So I let it cool down just for a couple minutes. Oh, thanks, Kristen. Kristen says, I hope we have all hit the like button. Thank you, Kristen. Hi, Yvonne. Welcome. I often pull out my heat press tray and set. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I did with that burner tumbler back here, if that's what you're talking about, heat press pad. Okay, so this has cooled off enough that I can handle it. It is hot, but if I can hold it like this, it's not still hot enough to sublimate. And it was hot. I'm not saying it wasn't hot, but it was hot. Okay, let's see what we get.
It'll be beautiful.
I hope so.
I'm probably gonna run out of here after I finish pressing this part there.
Okay, I'm gonna make you big so we can see it because your press is gonna come. And
well, I did this part and I had a roller mark in my print and I still pressed it. I knew it was gonna happen. But this is my board, which I like. And then I'm pressing so I printed out some sunflowers just to kind of go down there. It'll be like,
oh, cute.
It looks way better than it did with that line. So I had to like stack these up. That's why I was a little bit quiet because I was working on like figuring out exactly what I wanted to go there. So it's these flowers, but I just made them smaller and I just kept stacking them up and rotating them so that the butterflies would be on both sides.
And it's DTF, right?
Yeah, this is DTF.
Because you wouldn't be able to sublimate over that dark image.
No. So almost done. Oh, let me show you guys this close. So this is my clipboard. It matches. I'm gonna make me some other. So the clipboard came out cute, but I had like some roller marks in my print, but I still went ahead and pressed it. It looks like it belongs. It looks like it's been a little worn. The most important part is down here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my reminder to be kind when that's why I have this on my desk because when I'm on the phone talking to somebody and they kind of say something a little bit too much, I gotta look down at my mat that reminds me to be kind.
Okay, I'm gonna put it over real quick just while I'm undoing this. Ooh, that looks really, really good. It looks great. It looks really good. Okay, so there's my top. There's my name.
Gorgeous.
There's my bottom. It kind of has a hard cut off. No, it didn't. I thought I had a hard cut off right there. That's just because there's a flower. But there it is. The back, I have a tiny little white line at the very bottom. Tiny, just right there. It's not bad. That looks good. She's gonna love it. She's gonna love it.
It looks beautiful.
Looks really good. Now, Patrice was talking about the Honestly Spinking paper, and it's spinking, like SP and then ink, and how it releases like all the color. This didn't release quite all the color, but it's a very, very nice coverage. It looks good.
Looks beautiful. Marilyn, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good. I'm about to go. I'm about to run out of here. So it's been fun, Marilyn. What a wonderful craft. We got this lovely stem of sunflowers in the middle of our word behind our 2 words, but you know what? I like it.
It looks good.
I'll go on this side, and then whatever, my mouse will sit over here on this side, and it's gonna work just fine. That's it. That's all I made.
Oh, that's right, because we're after 2:30 your time. You have to be off by 2:30. Okay. Yes. Thank you, guys. Okay, bye, Patrice.
Love you guys. Love you, Mary. See you later.
Love you. Bye. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you had an enjoyable time. If you have any questions, put them in the comment under the video description, or down where you put comments after the video, and we'll answer those. Hey, Shannon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let's see. So things on tap. Now, one thing I do want to let you know is we were going to be, my camera's really crooked. We were going to be going live on the Crafty Brick channel this Wednesday, and she had a conflict. That's hers to talk about. It's good news, but that's hers to talk about. All I want to let you know is we're not going to be on Wednesday. And then, let's see, Thursday I'll be on. On the 28th, we have the block party where there's 8 people doing different quilting blocks. My quilt blocks are going to be used for little mug rugs, but some people will do quilt blocks for real quilts, or they might do, I don't know what the hell they're going to do it. So that's coming up on the 28th. On April 2nd, I think that's the date. April 2nd is a Thursday. That's 2 Thursdays from now, and I go live every Thursday evening, but I can't go live that night, so I won't be on April 2nd. Probably not. Will polyester and spandex mix work? So, Yvonne, you can use mixes as long as the polyester count is high. However, when you wash things, as you wash it more and more and more, the non-polyester parts won't hold the colors well. So I don't know what spandex is made out of. I don't know what fabric spandex is. Maybe it's its own fabric. I don't know. If it's a polyester-based spandex, then it should be okay. But I wouldn't do a lot of them until you do one and then wash it several times to make sure. Hey, Latricia, welcome. Thank you. Wednesday's no problem. Going to see you later in the week. Have a great day. Thank you. Love Sublimation, JV. The higher your polyester count, the more color you will get and keep. That's the important thing. It might look good when you get it, but as you wash it, if it's a 65% poly, 35% cotton blend, 35% of that color is going to come out within a few washes. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you Thursday night, and I hope you have a great rest of your week until then. I'm trying to do something here. If you are not up to date on those medical screenings, please make your appointments and get up to date. Knowledge is power, and it could save your life. All right, I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you Thursday. Bye. Thank you. Thanks, Shannon.